A distinguishing factor of Freemasonry is the ability to bring together men of varying views. Men who may be at the opposite ends of the political, social, and economic spectrum become brothers. Men who the outside world may view as opponents, adversaries, or rivals become brothers. This is the beauty of the ancient and honorable fraternity of free and accepted Masons. Now, what this powerful quote failed to mention is that modern Freemasonry encompasses men from all over the religious spectrum. There are obviously Masons who are Christians, Masons who are Muslims, Masons who are Jews, but there are also Masons who align themselves with the armies of Satan. There are Masons who are Luciferians. Richard Allen and Absalom Jones, and even Prince Hall himself, were pivotal in the founding of the first African Methodist Episcopal churches due to their leadership and organizational skills honed within the Masonic order. In 1787, they established the Free African Society in Philadelphia, which provided mutual aid and religious services for the Black American community. The society laid the groundwork for the formation of independent Black churches. Allen and Jones were driven by the need to create spaces free from the racial discrimination they faced in white-dominated churches. Allen founded the Mother Bethel AME Church in 1794, while Jones established the African Episcopal Church of St. Thomas in 1792. Their Masonic backgrounds provided them with a network of support and a framework for leadership, which was crucial in organizing and sustaining these early Black institutions. Prince Hall Masons played a significant role in the church as a leadership class because the Masonic order emphasized education, mutual support, and as well as community service. These values translated well into church leadership, where they could guide their congregations and advocate for social justice. The Masonic lodges also served as training grounds for leadership, providing a structured environment where African American men could develop their skills and influence. However, in the early 20th century, the emergence of the first Black Greek letter fraternities began to shift this dynamic. Organizations such as Alpha Phi Alpha and Sigma Pi Phi provided new avenues for leadership and social activism among Black American college students. These fraternities offered a modern, collegiate-based network that began to attract young leaders.
At this point, it should go without saying, Prince Hall Freemasonry and Sigma Pi Phi are not the same in connection or principle. Firstly, boule members are almost always college educated, a prerequisite not required to be a member of Prince Hall. These educated boule members are most likely graduates or postgraduates who are recognized as men who have outclassed their peers as professionals within a certain branch of expertise. College education is not a requirement for membership into Prince Hall or any other branches of Freemasonry for that matter, whose tenets are most essentially being male, having belief in a supreme being, as well as the ability to handle financial obligations of the society. Although boule members can be Prince Hall members and vice versa, they play different roles within the structure of Black society. Where Prince Hall is represented by over 300,000 men, Sigma Pi Phi is represented by only 5,000 men. And these aren't their only differences. Prince Hall, of course, is much older than Sigma Pi Phi, getting its charter from England shortly after the American Revolution, making it nearly 120 years before the creation of the boule in 1904. The origins of Prince Hall Freemasonry have a more solidified historical foundation as compared to the latter, despite the questions of race or status regarding its earliest members. Their parentage from the premier Grand Lodge of England is well attested. On the other hand, the creation or sudden formulation of the boule has a far less equivalent surface history, where Prince Hall wears the logo of Freemasonry under its European certification. The Masons claim a history going back to the construction of the Temple of Solomon. The boule claims no such thing, only that their organization is mirrored after such.
Now, what this brilliant brother Uriah Brandon didn't explain about the boule is that most of the founding members of the first Greek organizations were in fact Prince Hall Masons. I plan to pinpoint and show you exactly who in the first Black Greek fraternities were really Master Masons. This bit of history about the founders of the first Black Greek fraternities being Masons is important because the current state of Black America is largely a consequence of this war that broke out between the Prince Hall Masons who started the Black Greek Society and the Prince Hall Masons who were largely leading Black America through the AME Church and as well as the Baptist churches. So I'll go on to show you exactly who in the Divine Nine was a Master Mason. We will do this chronologically. First, we will start with W.E.B. Du Bois because he was not only a member of Sigma Pi Phi, but he was also a founding member of Alpha Phi Alpha. And Du Bois was also a Prince Hall Mason. The other Prince Hall Mason in Alpha Phi Alpha was an activist by the name of Paul Robeson. He was made a Mason in Harlem in the 1920s. And also in Alpha Phi Alpha, we have Eugene K. Jones. In Omega Psi Phi, we have Dr. Frank Coleman, who was a practicing Master Mason. And we also have Dr. Ernest Everett Just, who is also a documented Prince Hall Mason and founder of Omega Psi. Kappa Alpha Psi, we have Dr. Edward G. Irvin, and we also have Dr. Ezra D. Alexander. And these are Master Masons and also founders of Kappa Alpha Psi. But overall, I believe the most important of all the Master Masons of the Divine Nine was a historian and member of Alpha Phi Alpha by the name of Charles Wesley, because he was one of the first of the Black Greeks to make their way into the AME clergy, and as well as the Baptist clergy. Over time, the Black Greeks became a visible force within the ranks of the Black Church, creating a direct challenge to the influence that Prince Hall Masons originally held within this space of influence. Charles Wesley was one of several of the first Black Greek members to make their way into the Black clergy, particularly within denominations like the AME and Baptist churches. We must keep in mind that men from the Black Greek fraternities were often highly educated and held leadership positions within their communities. Charles Wesley, for example, held degrees from Fisk, Yale, and Harvard. Having this type of elite education equipped these men or titles that were sought after, particularly for leadership roles in the church and other institutions. These fraternities provided a network of support and mentorship. The bonds formed within these organizations help members to gain influence and visibility. Wesley, who served as the national president of Alpha Phi Alpha, used his influence to advocate for educational and social reforms. Many of these fraternity men were deeply committed to social justice and civil rights, aligning with the missions of the AME and Baptist churches. Their involvement with these movements naturally extended to leadership roles within the church, where they could further their advocacy. The historical context of the early 20th century saw a rise in Black intellectualism and activism. Fraternity men like Wesley were at the forefront of this movement, writing extensively about the history of the first Black Greek fraternities and sororities and their labor in the social sphere. The scholarly works helped to elevate their status within the church. Many of these Black Greek men were also ordained ministers, such as Reverend Al Sharpton, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, the Reverend and activist Ralph Abernathy, and even Charles Wesley himself was an ordained minister in the AME Church. Their dual roles as fraternity leaders and clergy allowed them to bridge the gap between secular and religious leadership, making them prominent figures in both spaces.
When we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
here is something that needs to be discussed because it is such a huge part of the invisible shackles that have been placed upon the world. There is a dream that has been sold to the world.
But I have a dream today.
It was taught in our schools and given credibility by our governments, churches, social leaders, and activists. This subject is something that is so difficult to come against because the mind control around it is so strong. It is one of the foundations that this coming New World Order is built upon. You see, the irony and hypocrisy about the way the world is today is that so many of us are caught up in the lies and deceptions that were given to us by the same system that we know have been oppressing us our entire lives. Like, I have friends who often speak about how wicked the system is, and how much they don't trust the government, etc., etc. But all their ways and mindsets stem from the lies and deceptions that were given to them by the same system they want to rebel against. They never break away from the lies, even though they speak against the people that are giving it to them. If we do not go back and go to the root of a lie and pluck it out, you will never truly live in truth, because there are still roots of lies that are planted in you. You have to remove the root, and this subject is a major root that needs to be dug up. So here's the basis of the discussion in this video, and I want you to answer this question in your heads before I go deeper. Was the dream that Martin Luther King Jr. had given to him by Yah or by Satan? I started with this question because I don't believe that many people ever gave it much thought or even considered the importance of the answer. I mean, this dream that is used consistently by world leaders, by churches, that is taught to all of us and our children from when we are young, that is often used as a foundation for liberty and justice around the world. If this dream was given by Yahuwah, the Most High, then it is something that we obviously should connect with and follow. But if it was given by Satan, then it is possible that by following and believing in this dream, we could be attaching ourselves to a satanic agenda that we were completely unaware of. That makes sense? This question needs to be considered, especially within the group of followers within the organized Christian churches in America and abroad. To many people in that group, Dr. King was the Moses of the generation, and he was leading those who followed him to a promised land.
And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
But because of his charisma, his power in words, the grand soapbox that he was given, and the many people, important people, that supported him around the country and around the world, he was given a Nobel Peace Prize. The promised land that he was leading many people to was never actually considered what it was. It was just wrapped in a bow of liberty and equality. But the actual foundation of the dream of this promised land was never actually considered. And now it is over half a century since the end of his movement, and the world still is moving to this promised land. So it is time that we really examine what is underneath the hood. We need to really understand, was the dream that Martin Luther King Jr. had given to him by Yah or by Satan?
2024, where the black church leaders are divided over Divine Nine membership. And Divine Nine means Black Greek, if you haven't been following. Why would church leaders be divided over these people having a presence in the clergy? But let's continue. A wave of controversial testimonial videos on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok of ex-members publicly denouncing their D9 membership and viral sermons condemning affiliation with the organizations could drive a mass exodus from black and non-black fraternities and sororities alike. Now let's unravel the implications of this. These Black Greeks have been charged with numerous hazing charges over the last few decades. And this is at the forefront of why the black church leadership is questioning letting these people into the church. But let's continue. Believers have always been able to be on two different sides of issues, says Nathaniel Robinson III, senior pastor of Coconut Grove's Greater St. Paul AME Church, and also a member of Omega Psi Phi. I don't think that it's good that we have faith leaders who are publicly challenging organizations that have been a staple in the black community for years. And these are the words of Pastor Nathaniel. These organizations have fought for equal opportunities, and all of these things for black people have upheld the black community and inspired so many children to go to college and do great things. The faith community has always been the backbone of the black community, so I think this is detrimental to the existence of these organizations, he continued. Now, of course, Pastor Nathaniel Robinson will be trying to, take up for his fellow fraternities and sororities that make up the D9 membership. But like I said, it is the hazing that is at the forefront of why the Black Greeks are getting accused of anything. But let's continue. The string of social media influencers, believers, and church leaders who stand in opposition to the membership in such fraternities and sororities say the hazing, secret bizarre rituals, oaths, ties to Greek gods, and the organization's practices are demonic and not of God. At the end
we are suffering the loss. I mean, we suffer with it every day.
Maisha Hilliard is talking about her oldest son, 20-year-old Tyler. He died shortly before starting his junior year at UC Riverside. On September 15th, 2018, he was pledging the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. The pledges and fraternity members went to Mount Rubidoux in Riverside for a run. Hilliard's family says the pledges endured hazing at the hands of the fraternity members with them.
Tyler was subjected to harmful, humiliating, and life-threatening hazing rituals that ended at Mount Rubidoux, where he apparently collapsed and was taken to the ambulance to the hospital, where he died the following day.
The family is suing the fraternity and the UC Riverside chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. They are not suing the university. Riverside police are investigating. Hazing in the state of California is illegal. On the fraternity's website, it states they are against hazing. Tyler's parents say he ended up in the hospital after an alleged hazing incident. A week later, he was dead.
We'd like for anyone to come forward with more information than what we've already received. And I'm sure there's a whole lot more that's gone on that we have no knowledge of.
Correct.
We reached out to the fraternity's national headquarters in Baltimore, Maryland. So far, they have not returned our emails or calls for comment.
All the time I spent on you, all the time I spent on you, made you keep me hanging on all day long.
of all of the Alpha Phi Alpha men was the Reverend Dr. King, the most useful of them all. You must keep in mind that Dr. King, professing this faith of leading people to the promised land, was not an ideology that he created. Alpha men such as W.E.B. Du Bois professed that same belief in this social engineering called communism. And Du Bois did so openly, whereas Dr. King only did so behind the scenes. But nevertheless, he was just as loud a proponent of communism as alpha men like Paul Robeson, who actually visited Russia during communism's time at the forefront on the world stage. So it does appear that the Alpha Phi Alpha brothers were the reddest of all the black Greeks. The only other black Greek fraternity that produced as many communists as Alpha Phi Alpha would have to be Phi Beta Sigma. Both Huey Newton and A. Philip Randolph were indeed prominent figures who engaged with socialist and communist ideology, but their motivations and extent of their affiliations widely vary. Huey Newton, co-founder of the Black Panther Party, was in fact influenced by many Marxist and Leninist principles. The Black Panther Party adopted these ideologies to address systemic oppression and economic inequality faced by African Americans. Newton's approach was definitely pragmatic, focusing on community programs and self-defense as a means to empower black communities. On the other hand, A. Philip Randolph was a significant labor leader and civil rights activist who also embraced socialist ideas. He founded the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, the first successful African-American-led labor union. Randolph's socialism was rooted in his belief that economic justice was essential for true racial equality. While he initially supported the Bolshevik Revolution, he later distanced himself from the Communist Party, focusing instead on democratic socialism. Now the whole point of digging up this history of the amount of black Greek men who flirted with that godless political philosophy called communism is only to demonstrate how many black Greeks had blood on their hands long before they became a visible force within the black church. Most black Americans believe that the unholy alliance between the black Greek elites and the communist elements of white American society began with FDR and the New Deal. But history reveals that this unholy alliance was really forged with the founding of the NAACP. It was actually more white communist or Jewish founders of the NAACP than black ones. So in essence, the NAACP was actually a front for the advancement of communist politics. So let's take a look at exactly how much blood these promoters of communism had on their hands long before black Greek men like Dr. King or the Reverend Jesse Jackson became the new spokesman for Black America. Let's look at the raw numbers of how much people lost their lives due to this social engineering that we call communism. In the Soviet Union alone, communism claimed at least 20 million people. And socialist Germany claimed 100,000 people in the name of social engineering and all that other Aryan madness they had going on. Communist Party of Bulgaria, which began in 1946 and lasted until 1989, killed roughly 50 to 100,000 people under the communist or socialist regime. The Communist Party of Romania killed roughly 50 to 100,000 people as well. In Vietnam, under Ho Chi Minh, the communist regime killed roughly 50 to 100,000 people. Nicaragua, 50,000 people killed. North Korea, 2 million people killed in the name of social engineering. Communist China, an estimated 50 to 60 million people killed in the name of social engineering. But let's look at more. Ethiopia killed 500,000 people, 500,000 of their own people in the name of communism, socialism, social engineering. Who else? Angola, Mozambique, an estimated 1 million people killed under the communist regime. Zimbabwe, under the Mugabe dictatorship, 20,000 people killed in the name of communism. Democratic Republic of Afghanistan, estimated 1.5 million people killed. Is it not obvious to you that all of these men, whether they claim to be men of God, if they flirted with that political ideology called communism, they are in fact soldiers of Satan.